Hi, we are learning Android app development, and in this part we understand to add a different way to add a on-click event on button, right? So this is the blank empty project, and here is my mobile phone, which is Panasonic P85. So we will run our application inside my mobile phone. It's here, right? So let's delete this hello world, right? So it's now empty and blank project, right? So we will do from scratch, so you can understand clearly what I'm teaching you, right? So let's add a button in our view, right? So this is the activity underscore main.xml. So just drag this button, right, and drop it here, right? So here is the button. So let's click add the constraint in a center. So just you need to click here, right? And this that's fine. So now we need to add id to this button, right? And the content, so we need to go to a text and just little bit zoom in, and here is the button. So button text, we want to click me, right? Here is the button. So let's change the content, which is click me. Here you can see, and let's change its id. It's button 1, right? And everything is fine, right? So let's go to design, right? And here is our button. When we click, something will happen, so we need to add on click event it here on this button. So let's go to main activity.java, right? So let's a little bit zoom in, right, so you can see clearly. So I will teach you here a first way to add event on your button, which is here, right? So let's grab its id of this event, right? So let's find view by id, right? Find view by id, right? And here is the r.id. R means resource, and resource id dot, we need to add we need to give id it here, and id is button 1, right? So let's add up some property here, button, right? Button, and you can add any button, right? So let's button 1, and inside we need to edit a button or id of our button, right? So now what we will do that, right? So let's add on click listener to this button, right? So let's button 1 dot on click listener, right? And you sorry, set us it's right, set on click listener and new on click listener, right? And you need to hit enter. So like this it will open, right? So whenever you will click this button, right? So this button, when you click, you can do something, you can do something, you can show an error message, right? Whatever you will show, you can open any new activity, right? You can click it here and it will open a pops up. You can do anything, right, when you click. So this is pretty good, and it's a simplest way to add a on click listener it here, right, on button 1, right? So this is the first way, right? First way to, you can run this and you can test it will work, right? First way, right, to add on click event, right? So let's see another way, right? So let's comment it and see, let's like this. So here we will comment. So this is the multi-line comment. I'm closing it here like this, right? So second way, we need to see how we can add event listener, right? So the second way is like this. When go we need to go activity main.xml here, go to a text, and here we need to give one property and attribute is a on click, right? and on click we want to open any activity. On click get start, uh, get start. You can do any name, right? You can give any name, something. You can give any name it here, right? So this name is important, so we need to copy this name and go to a main activity.java, and here we need to call this function. We need to create this function which is do something, right? So let's public and void, right, and paste that function which we have called in XML, right? And here is a view, right, and view, and curly brackets, right? So let's zoom it. So this is another way, simplest way to add. You can do something, you can do anything, right? So whenever you will click on your button, right, you can do anything. It means you can open a alert box, you can open any image, you can open any other activities, like, right? So let's do this is the second way, right? So let's comment it and understand it. So this is the second way to add event. You can test it to run this app, right? It will work, right? It's working for me and you as well, right? So what we want to do that it here, right? So this is the second way. So let's see a third one, right? So third one is also a very simplest way. So let's comment it here. This is the multi-line comment, right? So the third way is you need to implement the on-click listener, right? So we need to implement, right, on-click listener, right, which is this one, and you need to enter, right? So it's showing the error, right? So what we will do that, so we need to enter alt and enter, right? So it says implement methods, right? When we click it here, it will automatically pops up this window and you can on click. This is the method which we need to override. So let's okay. So this method automatically pops in our code editor, right, in Android Studio. So when we click this button, right, so this function can do anything for us, right? So we can do anything when we click this button, right? But it will but here at this time it will not work. So we need to add this button on set on click listener to this button, right? So let's copy this button, right, and paste it here and set on click listener, right? Set on click listener and give the constant which is this class, right? This, right? Control S for save, and let's check main activity.java. But there is a problem, right? When we have two buttons, right? So that time there is a pretty tricky, because both the buttons, when we click one button, another button automatically clicked up, right? So to prevent that, we need to to understand that things, we need to add one more button and understand it, right? So go to a design, and here we will also add one more button, which is this one, right? Another button, right? I'm changing its content, other button, right? OTHER, other button, right? And let's change its ID, right, in XML, right? So here is the ID, which is button 2. You can give any name, right, of your ID. So what we'll do that in our activity main.xml, right? So we need to check some condition it here, right? So if, right, so if whenever we will click on any one of button, right, so this function will happen, right? So if you have a 2, 3, 4 and many buttons, right, so that times we need to add some condition it here. So this is the view, right? So we need to copy and paste it here. So view dot get id, right, get id, and we need to check equal to r dot id dot which button we need to paste our id here. So let's go to a text, and this is the id one, right? Just copy and paste it here. So if when you click on button 1, right, which is this one, you can do anything, right? You can open any alert box, you can open any activity, you can open open your camera, and you can capture a video, right? So you can do anything with button 1, right? You can do anything with button 1, right? When you click, right? So let's do same thing, just copy and else if, right, if we have, so just paste it, and this is for button 2, right? So this is for button 2. So when we click this button, right, when we click this button, you can do anything, right? But we didn't set event listener, right, in a on create function, which is this one, on create. So likewise button 1 we need to just copy one more time, and this is for button 2, right? Button 2, right? So we need to get find view by id, right? So find view by id, and at this time button 2 or id, and we need to change the button 1 is to 2, right? And as well we need to add a button a property here, right? So let's run this and understand, right? So just I'm typing a log.d, right? Log.d, right, for debugging for console. We need to add some tag, which is you can give any tag, Android, right? And here is the message, right? So button 1 was clicked, right, and semicolon, and this is okay. Just copy and paste it here, right? So this is for button 2, and this is for another button, which is this one, right? So let's run this project and see it's working or not, right? So let's run, just click on run and run app. So if you have a connected through a USB cable, it will automatically detect your device, your mobile phone, it's here, right? So I have connected my mobile phone, right, which is Panasonic P85, right, and API 23, and let's OK, right? So right, so here is our app, which is button, click me, and other button, right? So when we click this button, right, so and let's check on click on a logcat, it's here, right? So it says okay, it says when we click it here, it says button 1 was clicked. When we click this button, button 2 was clicked, right? So it's pretty good video tutorial which I have made, I think, right? I don't like this video, please subscribe my channel, right, to click it here, right? And if you have any questions and doubt, please write a comment. Bye.